Buy low, sell high with Keller Williams, Lake Travis Marketplace, Austin, Texas. Let us refer you to an expert agent near you. Buy low, sell high with lowteamrealty.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. You're listening to Kimla and Company, and I'm your host, Kimla Lowe. It is a wonderful new moon in Aquarius tonight. One of our topics we're going to be talking about. The other topic we're going to be talking about this evening is universal law versus intergalactic law. We're really going to get into it. I have a brilliant special guest here tonight. Her name is KARMAN. She's a certified angel card reader. She's also an intuitive medium, and she's a public speaker. She does energy work. She's my spiritual friend. Please welcome KARMAN to the show. Hi, Mary.
Hello, Kimla. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm so excited with this new moon, new beginnings. Feels great, doesn't it?
It does. It's you know, this is, I have to say, one of the most remarkable times, you know, as far as kicking off the age of Aquarius and kicking off all of this new energy and these new downloads that are coming in. Are you feeling it personally? Where are you located that we're doing this show?
I'm in Syracuse, Utah tonight.
Oh, righty. You're in Utah tonight. I know you do the Alaska sometimes.
I do. Right? I do a lot of traveling. They call me Mary the Mobile Medium. So I'm on the move.
You're on the move. That's awesome. Well, I'm in Florida. So we had just like a beautiful beach day today. I tried not to get too much sun, you know, because I'd be like a red beet here, but really enjoying this particular locale that we're at this evening. But, you know, Mary, I'm going to ask you a question with your clients and you know, as far as the veil thinning and as far as all of these shifts taking place, how does it affect your ability to connect with the other side?
Like you said, with the veil thinning, and we all can feel that. I think with the gift that was given to us last year with being able to stay home, having things slow down, being able to look and reflect on things more, it has opened us up to be able to hear, to be able to be still and have that sense of we're not alone. Even though a lot of us were put in that position of staying home, the lockdowns, all of this, I turned it around and looked at it as the gift. I actually taught a class last Monday about 2020, the gift or the curse. And we all had our own perspectives of it, but everyone could say that they actually were able to go within, find out who they truly were, goals that they set that were, you know, vanished overnight, that they had to reinvent, reevaluate, you know, what they're in. And I thought with this new moon, also with the Mercury retrograde, it's another time for us to reflect, to review, and to reevaluate where we want to go in this 2021 energy.
You know, that was so interesting. When it first started, there were so many, you know, everybody was so confused as to, number one, what was going on anyway, how we were going to spend our time. But I came to that resolve as well, that in order for the universe to really shift, I mean, even when, let's say you're playing a sport, if you want to pivot, if you want to shift, if you want to move in a new direction, you literally have to kind of slow down or you will be off balance. And I think that's exactly what the universe was doing, was slowing us down so we would not be as off balance, you know, really kind of lose it, and be able to pivot, be able to accept this beautiful shift that we are now, going into. So yeah, I'm right there with you, Mayor, right there with you. This particular night tonight, we are on February 11th. We are on the eve of the lunar Chinese New Year.
That's right. The
Yes.
metal ox, and I'm actually a metal ox. So
Yes.
this year has a lot of meaning for me. And the ox is that grounding energy. It is the steadfast. It is the second animal that crossed over, that's recognized in the Chinese New Year. And so the rat's the one that jumped on its back and carried it across. So
right, exactly.
This is good energy.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the different animals. There's 12 celestial animals that are designated to each year. And so this is going to be the year of the ox. Now, there's 4 different elements you can belong to if you are an animal. Like I'm a horse, but I'm a fire horse, and so there's fire, there's wood, there's earth, and water. And so this is going to be metal. Oh, and metal. Sorry, five elements. So this is metal. So metal is a different type of energy. Metal is very administrative. Metal has to do with finance. It has to do with all of these things, especially the year of the ox, because especially for the United States, we have Wall Street, we have bullish markets, and so the stock market is ruled by the symbol of the bull. This particular year for 2021, we have a direction, what's called the deadly 5 yellow wind, and the direction that is very vulnerable during this particular metal ox year is the southeast, which rules the wealth. So this all kind of is a little tapestry. It all is woven together. So just kind of, be aware that you do need protection in the southeastern part of your home, and to really kind of protect what you have earned as far as wealth, as far as your finances, your investment. And that goes for property too. That goes for a lot of things, because in a moment's notice, the financial way of the old is, everything old is just kind of decaying and stripping away, and something new could be put into its place. So, but this is a transforming year. Oxes, I love them.
The metal, think about that. The metal, gold, silver, precious metals, all of that, I think, is going to play a very important part in the reorganizing of the financial realm right now. So how apropos for this to be the metal ox. Ox is the steadfast. It's the earth sign, that's getting back to that foundation, that grounding. And the metal, like you said, is the wealth, is the finances. So to me, the metal would be then gold, silver, precious metals are going to play a very important part again in the restructuring of our finances.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. So tomorrow kicks it off, and there are a lot of feng shui placements I want to talk about. This year also has something amazing. It's the sum of 10. It's called the String of Pearls. And if you book a session with me for feng shui, I will tell you all about it. It stems from the northeast to the center to the southwest within your home. And it is lucky, really lucky. So you can go to my website, kimlalow.com, book a feng shui session with me. That's hard to say.
Real fast, 3 times.
And we'll get into it, and we'll take a look at your floor plan, and we'll take a look at your Chinese astrology chart, which is really interesting. And we can really have some fun there. So let's talk about this unbelievable, overwhelming Aquarian energy that is streaming through the planet right now. And, we have at this particular moment, we have 6 planets, we have 1 asteroid, and 1 centaur in the sign of Aquarius. Never before, all of these have bunched up like it was. And we were discussing earlier that, yes, back in the 60s, 1962,
February.
This energy was definitely very powerful, similar as to all of the planets that are in the stellium of Aquarius. So when we have this big, huge Aquarian push, how do you see this kind of unfolding throughout the year?
Like you said, with everything being per se out of balance, it's almost that the Aquarian energy, that water barrier, when they're carrying the water, it has to be in balance or it's going to tip, it's going to spill. And you can feel that everybody's wanting stability now. They're wanting something new. They're wanting that energy of peace and harmony too. And that was, like you said, in 1962 was the summer of love. That was the hippie era, all of that coming through. And it was that wanting for communal, groups working together, being able to support each other, support the land, support finances. All of it came into place. And I feel like that might be the same energy again, because at that time there was 8 planets, right? In 1962. And now we've got the 6
not
plus
really
more.
8 planets. There was like 5, but
5.
what I'm getting at is like 1962 was the seed year for really pushing back on authority. That was, if you
Never before done.
I was there. But it was that time when everything that everyone believed in, everything that you were supposed to be like, came into question. And it was the first time that authority, for the younger generation anyway, was really put to the test. And there was racial, discrimination, protests. The female energy was coming up. They wanted to be recognized. So, it was about the pill and the banning of the bra and a lot of and a lot of these different ways to get high, whether it was psychedelic or whether it was whatever that was. But one thing and one thing only carried in my mind, and that was the change of the music.
Oh, yeah, Woodstock.
And as we went through 62 to 64, Kennedy, to the assassination, to, the 69, to the psychedelics, to all of the groups, and yes, to Woodstock. So with this particular evolution of this new frequency coming in, I have a feeling this new age is going to be completely, I want to say, on a higher frequency that we saw in the 60s. But I do feel that the music is going to change. I feel like the music is going to have more of a healing component.
That resonance of 420 or more, and getting back to that before it was changed. Yeah. Right, 455. There you go.
Yeah, and I'm saying that, this is going to be. I know we're going to be also, the protests are going to be rampant, and all of that is stirring up. It has been.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the solutions are going to come through more on a healing type of frequency. I'm
I
kind of
agree.
excited about it,
Yeah, you said something that kind of struck me, and I thought about that. The seeds were planted then. And with this moon, new moon, being void, it's in that darkness. And you think about what happens to a seed when you plant it, or when the birth, all of those things come out of the darkness. They're
Right.
able to bloom and to grow. And maybe that's what it's needed to do, is to plant those seeds, but once they start to pull out of that soil, they start to grow, just like with the moon, with it's in that darkest state, it's going to start to grow too. And maybe that's what we're looking at, is the growth, the expansion, which is a Uranus thing, right? No, Jupiter is expansion.
Yeah.
Is that energy of this or something better,
Right.
being able to move into the balance of it, but
Right.
also, with the divine feminine, the divine masculine, that's balance within ourselves, within society, but also, like I said, that growth is going to come from the balance, being able to see where, there's not a right or wrong or good or bad, that judgment that's coming within, that, oh, they're different, that division that's happening, and seeing that it isn't that anymore. It's coming together, like I said, with that peace, that harmony, with the visionary of the Aquarian energy.
Right. And the Aquarian energy honors the uniqueness in all of us. In fact, that's when all the tie-dye came in, and the long hair and all these different, what we call wild, because they were not, anything like our
Yeah, the
parents
long hairs.
or the authority, that was in place at the time. But through this particular, just this boom of Aquarian energy, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. And I find it really entertaining that with all of this new moon energy in Aquarius, that Uranus, the ruler of all of this energy, is actually squaring this particular new moon. So when we have a square, it's a challenge. So how apropos, with all of the rebellion and all of the, all of this pushback. I want to be independent, and I want to do it my way, and I want to do it outside the box type of thinking, that Uranus would go ahead and square the new moon.
Of course it would. Why not right now?
It's
Like
so
you said, we have
apropos,
6
right?
other planets in there, and let's throw in a square.
Exactly. But Venus is in a really good aspect right now. And so, love is the way out, always, always, always. And love the uniqueness that is with everyone. Love their perspective, because everybody else has a very unique perspective on things. And also, everyone has a different gift that they're holding on to, a different mission why they're here. And what's really funny is your last name is KARMAn. And
Yeah, I thought about that today. The debt, the karma.
the big debt. You know what I call it? Dead man's debt. It's like, oh my God, karma, dead man's debt. And
It's going to be gone.
to really kind of go into what this particular future looks like, because Aquarians, they don't look back. They don't collect heirlooms or cherish things from the past. They only look forward, and they are only interested, or they're only titillated by what's going on for the
And the
future.
visionaries, right? And I have to laugh. On my Facebook page, on my banner, it has the word revolution, but
Right.
love is spelled backwards. And I thought, how amazing is that in the word revolution is the word love, but it's backwards. And you think about the implications of that.
Yeah.
It's being able to see it, though. Yeah, there's a revolution, but if you do it from a space of love, there's no limits to this, infinite possibilities of what is coming. If we can think, like you said, outside the box of, oh, I just want this space, I just want this to be happy, I want my own little world, my bubble. And it's like, no, you need to expand this kind of thinking to include that peace, that harmony, globally. Right now,
Right.
what we're seeing, all of us, every country, every human being has that divine birthright of being able to pursue, life, liberty, and happiness.
Right.
And I feel like that is what is coming to an expansion, is thinking beyond, oh, just this, the United States, or just this little, state over here, or this community, or this town. And looking at this on a global level where we've never looked at that before, but because we all were in this together, it has expanded us to looking at, just like you and I in Zoom, you're in Florida, I'm in Utah, we're able to talk to people around the world. And when we start to be able to see each other and that, oh, they're just like me, they're not different.
Right.
That's where the understanding comes in, the visionary.
Right. Now, all of these downloads that are coming in, it's also, the universe works just, like an orchestra, how I see it, because Mercury in retrograde also gives us a little bit of a slowdown so we can go over some things and we have time. Just like the pandemic, we'll have time to really acclimate to the new codes. And Mercury, of course, rules the mind. It rules communication. It rules commerce. It rules it rules how we are going to do the mechanics, not only of life, but the mechanics of exactly how to elevate, our particular planet. So when you're talking about the goodness and this particular acceptance of not only our corner of the world, but also all over the globe, Aquarians also get out there into the galactic region, which is where my new playground is. So,
and it's going to be this is last frontier was Alaska. No, now it's space.
now it's space. And
exactly.
yeah, and so this is kind of where we're going, and the uniqueness of each and every galactic and their particular planet that they're coming from, and how they're interacting, and their backstory, I think, is more acceptable even now, that each and every one of us, you can have your hair any color you want now. You can live anywhere you want now. You can do anything you want now. It's kind of like, okay, great. And, we have had, trips to Mars, the moon, to Venus, to Jupiter. There's a lot of galactic travel happening. And my question, and I want to know, because we're going to be segueing into all of this Aquarian energy this evening, but we have, not only do we have Jupiter, which you were talking about, that expansion, but we also have Saturn sitting right next to Jupiter, that says you can expand as long as you do it step by step.
The rules.
Take one step at a time. It's all about time with Saturn. And so my question, and I want to kind of get your take on this, because with the universal laws and with the law of, the laws of planet Earth, we have free will and free choice here. And this was put into place by the Intergalactic Council, that they have honored this particular experience. You could say experiment.
Experiment. I know, that's what went through my brain.
But it's your experience of having free will and free choice. Now, my question is, this leads me to something else here. If we are galactically traveling, and here's NASA putting together, a little, we're going to Mars. This is where we're going, or Tesla or whoever wants to go. We're going to Mars. So once you get on Mars, do you still have free will and free choice?
I think isn't that a given birthright, like I said, of only humanity, humankind?
Only for planet Earth.
But we all didn't come from Earth. We all came from other places. So, I'm going to have to think about that, because to me, it doesn't matter. I think that free will, that free agency goes with us, because we are of the human race. We are of that species.
When in Rome, you got to do what Rome says.
So you don't think there's free will or free agency in other?
That's my question, because if you were born, or if you were coming in from the Pleiades, then you're coming into planet Earth. Are your Pleiadian rights
established again?
Do they travel with you, and do you just use them on planet Earth?
I think there has to be a remembering, though.
I'm sure there's a remembering, but I'm saying, as far as galactic rules go,
the universal laws.
The universal laws.
Well, if we're all connected and we're all part of that oneness, we are all on that that belief, which belief has a lie in it, the LIE in it, and that it is what you do unto others is going to be, what you're going to get back. So when I'm thinking about that universal law of, even the law of attraction, what you're going to put out there is what you're going to get back. And if that is a universal law, then wouldn't that be the same thing of what you've, like you said, the karma debt, what you sow, you've reaped. So what you're going to be putting out there is going to be coming back, that reciprocity. So free agency and free will, then I think that's still going to be in place, because we all have something to learn from each other. And like you said, the uniqueness of those that have come from other planets, other, dimensions, times, are going to bring that uniqueness to it. So
I understand how you're looking at it, but according to the Galactic Council, that planet Earth is the only planet that has free will and free choice.
That experiment here.
That's it.
That's the polarity, the duality, right?
It's the polarity. The polarity, absolutely. There are different things as far as the law of one, what we were talking about a little bit, we touched on. The polarity is one thing as well, but that is kind of something that's been going around in my brain a little bit, as to, it's all fine and good that you want to travel and go places, but when you get down to it, what rules really are in place? Because even when you travel into different countries, there are different rules in place that you do have to adhere to.
But we all have a passport.
We have the passport, but there are different things, that are put in. even society, for different society rules and things like that.
Right.
I just want to take a little break right now. You're listening to Kimla and Company with my brilliant guest, Mary KARMAN. And we would love to take your phone calls, love to hear your opinions, love to give out a free reading here and there. And we have a certified angel card reader here tonight. So go ahead and call in. The number is 844-390-8255. We're going to take a short break. You're listening to Kimla and Company, and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Kimla Lowe, host of the news show Kimla and Company. Won't you join me every other Thursday evening live, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern? We'll be discussing all metaphysical topics and learning from inspiring and enlightening new spiritual guests. Come on, be a part of the show. Join me in the chat room, or you can call in for a free reading. Kimla and Company. See you on Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And until then, may the angels protect you and guide you. Kimla & Company is sponsored by LowTeamRealty.com. Buy low, sell high with Keller Williams, Lake Travis Marketplace, Austin, Texas. Let us refer you to an expert agent near you. Buy low, sell high with LowTeamRealty.com. Hi, this is Kimla Lowe, host of the news show Kimla and Company. Won't you join me every other Thursday evening live, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern? We'll be discussing all metaphysical.
And we're back. You're listening to Kimla and Company. I'm your host, Kimla Lowe. And you can always read about me and all of my sessions at kimlalowe.com. I'm so busy with feng shui right now that I love this time of year because I can help set up everyone and really bring in some wonderful enhancements for success and health protection, and also teach. When you have a feng shui consultation, it's almost like having a one-on-one lesson and session with me with feng shui. And my guest tonight is Mary KARMAN. She's back. She's a certified angel reader, intuitive medium, and energy healer, and a public speaker. Hey, Mary, how are you?
I'm doing beautiful tonight, Kimla. It's a pretty exciting time to be alive, right? We chose to be here right now.
We certainly did. We chose to be here right now with this new moon happening. So we were talking about, planting the seed and how this was what I want to say, this stellium of Aquarian energy is something else that's hidden in this stellium that I want to talk about. And it's about all of the astrological planets that are there, but also there are two forces. One's an android, Pallas Athena, and another one is a centaur, and it is Chiriclo. And these particular energies are responsible to fuel this synergy of this new moon and empower the feminine. Because Chiriclo is one of these very dignified feminine energies that come in and allow the female intuition to be really empowered. And also Pallas Athena is also a very strong, independent female energy as well. And we've been looking forward to this as females, you and I, for a while now, and really getting that fire underneath.
The warrior princess.
The warrior princess, yeah. Getting really underneath to bring us up what you were talking about, the balance that we really do need to go into the future, because there have been a lot of imbalances, whether it was racial or gender or economic level, educational level. And we're seeing that I feel like the learning curve or the balancing of this out has shortened. It's
True.
like, okay, great, boom, we can go online now and get a master's degree. We can we can go and invest on our own. We don't have to go through a third party to
Middleman. Right.
do that kind of thing. So we're kind of more in control of that as well. Um, and as far as, I'm going to bring up another subject here, but as far as the memory you brought up, as far as having an imprint and memory, I'm finding that a lot of buzz right now is the talk about transgender and the talk about what that does to the sexual balance of one's experience, of this lifetime. Um, I have this, in in my experience, I know about the bleed throughs of reincarnation and timelines that sometimes we experience perhaps a lifetime that we know that was us, but we were perhaps a different gender.
True.
And I really believe that if we made this a little bit more than perhaps a woo-woo metaphysical talk, I mean, if it was more universally accepted, reincarnation, and that this is really something that would, um, that is commonplace, that people would understand their feelings and their urges and their pulls to experience a different gender than what they were born with. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, because we all have the estrogen and the testosterone within us. We all have that yin and yang, but what we came into this lifetime with this physical body is what we chose. And yes, I'm feeling that people that have more testosterone, they have more of those masculine tendencies that could have been, like you said, their recent past life, or it could have been many lifetimes, and now they chose to do the female version. But it comes to a point where honoring, you chose this vessel to come in with at this time. We all know we've had that tendencies of, wow, I might be attracted to somebody that's the same sex. Am I going to act on it or not? I played baseball with the boys until I was 12 years old. And then I couldn't play anymore because they went to a different league. And that, to me, I would remember feeling so disappointed, so hurt. But when I look back now, then I went on to play softball with the girls, and it showed me that I still had that feminine ability. I wouldn't have wanted to change it had I had parents that says, well, if you want to feel like, you feel like a boy, you want to play with the boys, let's do something different. How different it really would have turned out for me. I raised 5 girls, and each one of them are so unique, so different in looks, in height, in choices of careers, all of it. And that's where it comes down to, you each are unique. It doesn't mean that one is above the other. We're starting to see, like you said, that gap coming in to where there is a balance of it. And hopefully that's what we're seeing more of, rather than dividing again. You can't say this, you can't say that, you can't be that, you can't be this. We have at the Super Bowl, the first woman that was a referee.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's what she chose. She also has daughters too. And it's like, she can still do both, and that's what I'm saying, without changing the physical that you chose to come in with. at that time. I mean, I have family members that I feel like, and this is my perspective, felt like they were born with a tendency to be more feminine if they were male, or more male if they were feminine. And so I really questioned about that. Is that something that they're born with? This is something that they're not. Is it a choice? Only that person can make that. But I think that that's where we need to look back again about that law of gender. It is a law of gender, a universal law. We chose this physical vessel to come in with for a reason. Whether it is to change it, I don't know. But honor it.
According to Dolores Cannon, now she's a fabulous, she's a hypnotist, but she goes through a regression, and through her particular research, you do make contracts about what you're going to do before your next lifetime. And in many of her books, it states the same information. From my research and my experience working with clients, I came up with the same. What is really amazing is that your guides do, before you come into the life, they do try to advise you as to what would be your next experience that would really kind of be your next chapter, that would link into exactly what your soul growth is. Now, and I've always kind of wondered about this as well, because when you are going through this particular, let's just say guidance counseling, and really kind of putting your your name in ink as to your next lifetime, the question is, if I cannot do this, then what happens? And there are a lot of outs. You can change your contract. You can, if you can't take it anymore and this and that is happening, and there's, they very much frown upon suicide, ending your particular path without negotiation. There's a lot of negotiation that can take place through your guides and through the masters that will allow you to switch out, souls that will come into the vessel.
The walk-ins.
Exactly. And so I'm thinking to myself, if the veil wasn't so heavy, if the memory, wasn't erased as to how this game is played down here, I feel as though the guilt, the blame, the shame, the pain, these people are walking through. It is just getting in the way of, soul growth. And, the petitions that, I know that different qualified spiritual beings are petitioning to the Galactic Council on lightening up this heavy amnesia we come into.
Correct.
It has to be regulated a little, adjusted a little
bit. I like that. Yes.
Because of the fact, we don't want to get caught up into all that memory land and all of that. However, it's virtually impairing the soul's growth as to, going at the frequency and the speed that we're going at now. We can sense, we can feel those other lifetimes like we never could before. I think it's a very, very good, let's just say, a good topic to bring to the table, to have perhaps the law adjusted as to the amnesia that, that we all experience, coming.
Isn't there something about the contracts that we can, like you said, rewrite them. We can write out a consent saying, I do not consent to anything that is known or unknown to me from this point forward. And
Right.
there again is that visionary, that Aquarian energy.
Right.
Not looking backwards, not looking at your past lives, not looking at those things. Yes, it made you who you are today, but where do you go from here? And there is where I think religion, those boxes, society, institutions, financial, educational, like you said, I was an elementary school teacher, and seeing the shift in all of that now is where the growth and expansion is going to come in. But I feel like there is that rewriting, that gift that we have to be able to do this. We do not have to continue that looping, that reincarnating of even coming back here, that we can rewrite that saying, I do not consent to this program. Maybe, if we are ourselves like a computer and we're running that software programs, we can change those. We have that ability to write new software, to write new programs, so that we're not looping in that old paradigm. Like I said, especially with religion, so many more. And that's the Saturn, isn't it? Where it is that strict rules, regulations that are being brought to question right now,
Right.
where we can question all of it, whereas before you couldn't.
So that's my segue. I'm going to loop this all the way back to this new moon because back in the 60s, we were rebelling against the authority that was put into place there. But now, since we are now in the photon belt, we have moved into this new frequency.
Never been here before, right?
And now we're all of a sudden in this awareness of a new authority. It is of a galactic nature. And I feel like this is where we're going to be rebelling. This is where.
Very well could be. And that's where the light and lightening up on things too.
Yeah.
Bringing in that. But I think it's lightening up this.
The light is what's inside of light is knowledge. And the more light you are carrying, the more knowledge you are assimilating. And when we have this knowledge that just jumps from universal laws to intergalactic level, there's going to be some pushback. There's going to be, hey, wait a minute, you've got us operating, at a college level now, but we're still sitting
in elementary school.
We're still sitting in the first grade chairs here. What's the deal? Uncomfortable.
Right. Exactly.
I think so. It's going to we're going to also see a huge pushback on the vehicle itself.
Oh, I believe that. I mean, because that's where we have been a lot of times when our physical body's been held back. It is that density that we're feeling. It is, when I had the near love experience, being able to leave this realm and feel that freedom of spirit that is not encumbered, not even held in something that, like you said, this vessel, it is omnipresent, everything. And being able to touch into that again, even if we are in this, that's where meditation comes in. That's where lucid dreaming, remote viewing, all that starts to take us out of this, restrictions, or not restrictions, but this vessel that is restrictive in nature, and look beyond that right now. That's where we're going to be able to move past and into that galactic, that interdimensional, realm. And I think, like you said, being in that new space here as our planet, it is going to show us that there's so much more. And we as humans are so much more.
Right. And so just like the caveman, and we've developed into
Yeah.
this, we're going to be developing more. And to shifting into that, I feel as though this particular new moon also says, hey, we have a voice in this. We need to have a voice in this. So,
Right.
I feel like
Individually and collectively too.
collectively. And so what is the awakening here is that we all have to have the information. The information comes from the light, so we can all agree what is going to be happening next. And I think that's going to be amazing. Now, through what I've been studying, we've got a timeline for all of this shift to really get into place by 2032.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't even believe we're in 2021.
I can't believe we survived 2020. No.
I mean, it just sounds, so I've shifted my thinking, 2032 is just around the corner for me. I mean, when you look at it in a large scale.
Sure.
But the validation that I've received is the young children that are coming in now, vibrating at such a high frequency. Their DNA strands are multiplying. They're tying together. Some kids are coming in with 4 already. It's happening. It is definitely happening.
Right.
And
right. I think that light is what's activating it when we're coming into this new point of that photo belt that you were talking about.
Photon, yeah.
Photon belt, exactly. It is with solar flares even right now that are heating up the magma in the tectonic plates. All of that is showing, our planet is feeling this too. The earthquakes, we just had a 7.7 earthquake, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of the earth responding to being in this different kind of level of heat, coming in from the solar flares.
Exactly. And, one of the best universal laws there is, so as above, so below, as inside, as within, so as without, or whatever.
Yeah, you said right. So without.
So without. So that I have to say is one of those things that is definitely there with, free will and free choice. The thing about free will and free choice is they never say the next part, and that is, but there are consequences.
Right. There's going to be the cause and the effect, always.
The cause and the effect, yeah. So, well, Mary, I can't even believe the show is coming down to it, but I want to hear about everything you've got going on. How can we get a hold of you? And if someone would like to have a reading with you, you are an intuitive medium as well. You cross the veil, you speak to loved ones on the other side and provide a wonderful healing. How can we get a hold of you, Mary KARMAn?
I have by email, and we can share that. That's the Heartlight Healing, and then the number 4 and you at Gmail. And then also my telephone number is 801-803-1865. Texting is best. I'll always get back to that, probably quicker than I will at voicemail. So those are the 2 ways that I can do it.
Can we friend you on social media?
I do. I have a Facebook page. I'm also on Instagram where I can do that. And please reach out. Now is the time to dive into where we going and, look at, those things that have helped us in where we've been, but not dwelling on the past. Like you said, this is the new beginnings. This is the new moon. This is the new you. And like I said, the sky's the limit. Infinite possibilities. Where do you want to go? So that's where I'm looking at.
So take a moment, everybody, to write down where you want to go into the future, what you want to experience, what your intentions are the most important thing right now, because we will be manifesting so quickly these days.
Amen.
So make sure that you look into your heart and really write down what comes out of your heart, because love is all there is, and love never dies. Mary Carmen, thank you so much for being with me on Contact Talk Radio. We sure do appreciate you coming on, and please come back again.
I sure will. You bet. Love you. Thank you.
You too. Until next time, may the angels protect you and guide you. Good night, everyone.